Hey there, my friend. It's Dr. Anthony Balduzzi, founder here at the Fit Father Project and the Fit Mother Project. In today's video, we're going to cover the best upper body exercises to build muscle in your 40s, 50s, and 60s. And you probably have an idea of what some of these exercises are. Things like rows, shoulder press, chest press. But in today's video, I'm going to show you how to make these exercises even more safe, effective, and joint friendly, which is critical after 40. Because the process of building muscle is to get progressively stronger, to use heavier weights. But if you're doing exercises that end up hurting you and causing tendon issues and joint issues, it totally sucks. So we're going to fix that in today's video. And we're going to cover everything. We're going to start with back exercises, then move to chest, shoulders. And at the end of this video, I'm also going to show you how to integrate some amazing core exercises. And you can make this into a full-blown routine to build muscle on your upper body after 40. Let's get into today's video. So the first exercise on our list is the chin-up. And I think chin-ups are gold standard for all upper body training after age 40. And the goal is to work up to be able to do 10 of these body weight. When you can do that, you have great strength after 40. Now, you're probably going to need to work into that by doing some assisted chin-ups. And here's exactly how you do those. You get some kind of band or cable like this. You can put it around your knees or your feet. And as you do the chin-up motion, you just get the assistance of a band. And over time, as you get stronger, you might only put the band around one of your legs, and eventually you may even use a lighter band. But a lot of people over 40 are afraid of doing chin-ups, and they go ahead and they do lat pull-downs instead. And the research is very clear. Chin-ups are more effective than lat pull-downs. They're better for your biceps, your lats, and they integrate your core. So I want you to do these, and I want you to practice these. Even if you could only do 3 of these assisted to start off, that's fine. Build up and try to do chin-ups at least twice a week in your upper body workouts, and then you'll be able to eventually do chin-ups without any assistance whatsoever, and then you can build your way up. So chin-ups are number 1. Get these into your workout, at least 3 sets every time you train your upper body. Let's move on to exercise number 2. Exercise number 2 on our list is a bent over row. And these are foundational for your whole back and your posterior chain, as well as your lats and your biceps. And there are 2 ways you can do this. You can do a barbell row, which you see me demonstrating right here, or you can also do a dumbbell row. Both versions are great. Pick whichever one you have equipment based off of. Now, with the row, it's really important that you set up in a way that you have bracing your core and you're keeping your low back very protected by drawing your belly button in. Now, I want you to imagine that your hands and your arms are like hooks and you're pulling back and squeezing those shoulder blades together and you're pausing for a second at the top and then lowering in a controlled motion. Now, with this exercise, it's something that you can go slightly higher rep. You do not need to go crazy heavy on this. You can do anywhere from the 10 to 15 rep range. And if you really want to be safe on this, you can use the dumbbells or kettlebells at your side, which is a great way to start. And the key thing to actually get the benefit out of this exercise is the mind-muscle connection of imagining that your arms are pulleys and hooks. And as you pull up, you're squeezing that back. And as you unwind, you're allowing those lats to open up just like this. And again, this is something I would do after the chin-ups because the chin-ups are a little harder based on using your body weight and stuff like that. And I recommend you do around 2-3 sets of these barbell rows or dumbbell rows in whatever fashion you like. Let's move on to exercise number 3. Now, when it comes to building muscle in your chest, your shoulders, and your triceps, dumbbell bench press varieties are the absolute best motion. And the reason I like dumbbells over barbells, especially when you're over 40, is you have so much more freedom in the motion. You can position your elbows and your hands in a way that feels really good on your shoulders. And I also want to give you some other tips on how to make this even more effective. A lot of people are used to doing flat dumbbell bench press, but here's the tip. If you actually elevate the foot of the bench so you're on a very slight decline, that puts your whole body in a favorable position that opens up the front of the shoulder. So if you've ever had any impingement issues, you feel like your shoulders are a little touch and go when you do these kinds of motions, doing it on a slight decline like this is going to be amazing for your shoulders. Now, what I also suggest is you play around with a couple different varieties of incline on the bench. Obviously, the flat or slight decline that I recommended, but you can also do a 30-degree incline. This is lower than most people do, but it's really what's ideal for hitting that upper chest. So you might want to do 2 to 3 sets at both of these angles in any given workout, up to 4 to 6 sets total. Now, a couple other varieties of this that are really fun to play around with. You don't always have to do 2 arms at a time. You can also do a single arm, just like this, which I call kind of like an archer press, where you're doing 1 arm at a time. It's super effective for the chest, and you can really focus on building a great mind-muscle connection. If you've ever felt like you have one side that's a little bit stronger, this type of motion will be really effective for you. And so I recommend you incorporate this into your workout after you do the back training, because a lot of people gravitate towards these pressing motions. We're going to start with the back, then we'll move on to these. And again, 2 to 3 sets of these at each angle is going to be really good. Let's move on to our next motion. So another highly effective upper body exercise that not enough people are doing is the dip. And this is something maybe you have done way back in the day in gym or PE class, and many of us just stop doing them because they're hard, because we don't have the strength. And I'm here to tell you that I want you to start to train your dips. You're just gonna do them in an assisted fashion to build up your strength. So what you're gonna do is either get a dip bar or some parallettes like I have here, and you're gonna get some kind of cable to put underneath your knees, like a resistance band like this, that's gonna give you assistance on the way down. Now the key thing with the dips is to find the actual width of grip that's gonna feel best on your shoulders. For me personally, I feel a little healthier when I have more of a narrow grip like this and my elbows are kind of more pinned to my sides. Some people feel slightly better when they pitch forward. Some people feel better with slightly wider angles. So try to find the one that works best for you, but start these with an assisted band and you lower yourself slow and controlled, focusing on your chest, your shoulders, your triceps, creating a lot of tension, and then you press yourself up in a controlled motion. And this dips are something you can do anywhere from the 5 up to the 15 rep range. When you can do about 15 of these assisted dips, either use a lower style cable, or you can start to get rid of the whole resistance band whatsoever and start to do body weight dips. It's one of the king exercises for the upper body. I recommend you incorporate these. And I like to do dips after I've done some kind of chest pressing motion, so I'm already warmed up and it's healthier on my shoulders. And again, I like to do these assisted a lot because you can really focus on the mind-muscle connection and it's easier on your joints. Let's move on to the next exercise. Next, we're going to talk about how to build bigger and stronger shoulders. And this comes down to mastering a couple shoulder pressing variations. So the dumbbell shoulder press is absolutely my preference. And for the purpose of building muscle, I like to recommend people do it seated, because the seated dumbbell shoulder press is something you can really progress on. So you get your dumbbells, you get into a seated bench, and I like to have that bench behind you in roughly an upright vertical position, and you're going to plant your feet and be very strong and kick the dumbbells back. Once the dumbbells are in a rack position, you're going to press overhead, the dumbbells come up strong and they touch at the top, and then you're going to lower right on down, pause for a second, press. A mistake that people make at the bottom of the rep is they drop the dumbbells too far down and you lose the tension on your shoulders, and a lot of that actual tension of the weight actually gets shifted onto your elbows and some of your rotator cuff muscles in an unfavorable way. So you want to come down to roughly 90-degree position, press right on up and come right on down. And that is the seated dumbbell shoulder press, and it's a staple because you can progress as you start to do sets in anywhere from the 6 to 12 rep range, and you hit that upper rep range, go up by around 5 pounds, and you can get stronger on this, and that'll give you healthier and stronger shoulders. You can also do these in a standing version. These are going to be slightly harder on your core, and you want to go lighter on these. So this is a standing dumbbell shoulder press or a standing kettlebell shoulder press if you have access to those. And this is really great because it makes it a whole body motion, but it's not something you can go as heavy on because you don't have as much of a stable base. So it's more of a core trainer. And if you want to really be on the safer side and go lighter, then the standing dumbbell or standing kettlebell shoulder press is a really good variety. And now for a little more of a functional aspect of this to mix things up, you can also do a single arm standing dumbbell press. And this is where you're going to take a single heavy dumbbell and you're going to rack it up in this position, press it overhead, and control it on the way down. And the cool benefit of doing it one at a time is it really activates your core. You can focus on each shoulder at a time, and it's kind of just a really cool functional motion. You want to train both sides, I'd say for this, in the 5 to 10 rep range. You don't need to go crazy high in the reps here because you want to go slightly heavier to get that full body tension kind of motion. Now let's move on to some arm training. So when it comes to arm training, we're going to be talking about the biceps and the triceps, and I'm going to start off by talking about my 4 favorite biceps exercise. The first one that's really fantastic, if you have access to an easy bar, which is one of those wavy cambered bars, is to do some standing easy bar curls. These are great because when that heavy barbell's out in front of you, it's going to create a lot of tension on your core, and you're going to squeeze up and bring that barbell up to your chin. Finish that curl motion. A lot of people stay too shallow. Like this is an example of a shallow curl. This is an example of like a full upright curl where you have that full range of motion and you control on the way down. Focus on the eccentric, on that lowering portion to take at least 2 seconds on the way down. That's a standing easy bar curl. 6 to 12 reps is a great rep target. Now you can also do this with dumbbells, and I want to show you a couple different varieties of the dumbbell style curling. You can basically mimic that easy bar curl with dumbbells by curling both dumbbells at the same time. What's powerful about that is it really integrates your core if you're able to go fairly heavy on this, so it's a cool variety. Of course, you can also do the alternating dumbbell curls, and the key thing is at the top of the alternating dumbbell curl, you really twist your pinky in that form of supination to get that bicep into peak contraction, and then lower slowly and do the other arm. It's also good to mix up with hammer curls, and this is where your wrist is in that neutral position, and you're doing a hammer curl across your body, one arm at a time. And watch me as I do this. As I do the hammer curl across my body, I finish high, just like this, across my chin. That's going to give that maximum contraction during the hammer curl rep. And finally, for a really good isolation exercise for the biceps, we have the concentration curl, where you're gonna get a light dumbbell, anywhere from 10 to maybe 20 pounds, and you're gonna really focus on getting that weight inside your thigh, and you're gonna focus one arm at a time, really doing an intense curl, focusing on that peak contraction and really putting all your attention into that bicep. And you're gonna do around, I'd say 10 to up to 20 reps per arm. I think higher rep on the concentration curl is very good. This would be like the last exercise you do for your biceps. It's a total finisher. And when it comes to the amount of sets and reps to do for the biceps, if you've already done things like chin-ups and rows, those things really torture biceps. So when it comes to the actual direct bicep work, you may only do 3 to 6 sets total. And what I would personally do is probably do 2 to 3 sets of 2 exercises. So I might do 2 sets of easy bar curls and 2 sets of concentration curls and call it a day for that particular workout. More is not better with these small muscle groups. You'll just train it again in around 3-4 days with a different set of exercises. That's probably the best approach here. Now, when it comes to triceps training, I think that the rope cable press downs or any of the tricep press downs are absolutely fantastic. And when I go into gyms, I see a lot of people make mistakes with these exercises, and typically this is what a bad rep looks like. People keep those cables touching, and they press them down just like this with them touching. That actually enables you to cheat the rep and you don't get as much triceps activation. This is the proper rep, where you grab that cable, you bring it to your sides, and as you come down, you spread those ropes out and you really drive your elbows out and you keep your core very tight as you're going through this. And then you lower and they come back. But I personally don't let those ropes touch as they go throughout this motion. So the rope is really good, and the actual tempo of the rep is important. I want you to do an explode down. Maybe the explosion takes 1 second or so. Pause for a squeeze, and then come back up. 1, 2, pause, explode, squeeze. 1, 2, pause, explode, squeeze. That's the tempo that is going to get you the best mind-muscle connection and the best pump and the best gains from the rope cable press down. You can also do it with a straight bar, which is good as well. I think you can just use these interchangeably to kind of mix them up. You can see me here with a straight bar. And what's cool about the straight bar is if you choose to go pretty heavy on this, you can also really lean back and incorporate your core into that motion too. And you don't always have to just bring the bar straight down to your body. You can also have the bar kind of go a little away from your body. There's a lot of play that you can find out what works best for you and feels best. So those are the tricep exercises I absolutely recommend. Now, to wrap up this video, I want to talk about 3 of my favorite core exercises that you can do at the end of an upper body workout that integrate the core and these different movement patterns that we've been training. The first one that I absolutely love is an ab wheel rollout. And this is one of the best ab exercises, period. But what's so cool about it, as you're rolling out, you need to create so much tension in your lats, in your chest, and your arms. So it integrates a lot of the chest and the back work into those rollouts. Now, here's a couple form points as you're doing this. You do not want to allow your lower back to arch like this. You want to keep almost like a rounded upper back, and you want to draw your belly button in. So as you extend out, still focus on keeping that more rounded upper back and drawing that core in. It's like this hollow body position, and then you're going to come right on in and squeeze your abs the whole time. And the further you roll out, the more effective the exercise is going to be. And also for comfort, I recommend you put something underneath your knees so you don't have that really like hard feeling on your knees that can make this pretty uncomfortable. In terms of sets or reps, as many as you can do to failure, but don't fall on your face. I'd say stop 1 to 2 reps shy of failure. And this might be anywhere 5 to 10 reps on this, and you'll build up over time. The second exercise that I absolutely love is to do any kind of knee raise or leg raise on a dip bar, or on any of these kind of like ab bars that you might find at the gym. You can see me here addressing the dip bar, and I'm gonna create tension in my triceps, tension in my chest and my core, and I'm gonna raise my knees up. This is kind of like the beginner version. What's great about this is you're creating that dip upper body tension, but now you're working on raising your knees up and getting that core activation from the bottom up. Now, as you get more advanced, you can work on extending one leg out at a time, and like this, and that's going to be good. It challenges your core even more in that top position, and eventually you get to the point where you can extend both legs out, and you're kind of in this gymnastic style dip and leg extension position. I mean, your core is super strong when you're able to do that, and this is, I would say, do this for around 10 to 15 reps, and then do these more advanced variations by trying to extend your legs out as you get stronger over time. And the final core exercise that I absolutely love that integrates the upper body is called the Pallof Press. So you're gonna get some kind of cable machine, or maybe you have a resistance band at home, and you're gonna get it where you rotate your body just like this, and you press that weight out away from you. So what's cool about that is the band or the cable is trying to pull you back, and you need to press the weight out to do like this. You keep on doing pressing motions just like this. You can see me going out like this and bringing it back in. And for an advanced version, as you press out, you can also bring it overhead slightly like this. That's gonna make that scapula wanna stabilize really hard, and it makes this a really amazing core exercise. Now you're gonna wanna do both sides. Let's say you do 10 to 15 of these press reps on each side. You're gonna switch sides and do it on the other side. It's a wonderful exercise. If you haven't tried it, I recommend you get it into your routine. It's super good. So, I hope you enjoyed this, my friend. The key thing here is you could certainly do this as a full routine, doing around 3 sets of each of these exercises, but more importantly, I want you to find some of these you haven't tried that interest you, or even some of these varieties, and incorporate them into your training this week. What I love about this is almost all these exercises can be done with a pair of dumbbells at home, so they're really, really accessible. And these small form tweaks that I talked about in this video will make all the difference in terms of making it safe, more effective. And remember, your muscles, for the purpose of muscle building, don't know how heavy you're lifting. Your muscles know about the amount of tension you're creating. So proper form can really help you create more tension in that lift, which can give you better gains over time. And although we're focused on muscle building, you definitely want to focus on getting stronger, because as you get progressively stronger on these motions, your body's going to be adapting and building muscle. And remember, you need to rest in between these workouts. I would only recommend you do this twice per week with around 3 days of rest between, because your muscles grow outside of the gym. Training is just a stimulus, and your sleep and your proper nutrition is what actually allows the body to build itself back up. I hope you enjoyed today's video, my friend. If you want a completely done-for-you fitness plan designed for both fat loss and muscle building for you as a busy mom or dad over 40, come join us inside the Fit Father Project and the Fit Mother Project. We have the absolute best health and fitness programs for busy parents over 40 online, period. You can see some of our program members and success stories. We have more success stories for people over 40 than any other program online, period. So come check us out. We'll give you the exact workout plan, meal plan, nutrition guidance. You have to do zero thinking. You just follow along and you see great results. There's going to be links in the description to our paid programs that you can check out, and I hope to see you with us inside our community, my friend. This is Dr. A signing off. Hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed this. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I'll see you around future videos, and I'll talk to you very soon.